Hi YouTube, Stephanie's back. So today I wanted to make a video because it's not an update video, it's more of like a rant video. I'm going to go on a rant. So if you don't want to hear anything that I have to say, you should stop watching this video right now. I am currently 31 weeks and 4 days. So in 2 days I'll be making an update video for you guys. But this video is going to be about my mom and me becoming a mom and how I feel about that. In one of my very first videos I told you guys that I would talk to you about my mom, and I finally came to the conclusion that I'm going to make that video and talk to you guys about my mom. She is a she's a very disturbed woman. She used to hit me a lot. She used to leave me a lot. Sorry. And for a while, it didn't bother me. For a while, I stayed really, really strong. Or at least I tried to, because I was a kid when she left. My mom left me, I was around, I'm gonna say 11, 12 years old. She started leaving me on and off. So, obviously I learned how to cook, clean, and do my own laundry. And, because I didn't have a mom to do it for me. Or, I mean, she taught me from a very young age. I must have been 6, 7 years old when she started teaching me how to cook and clean and do my own laundry. I don't know if she was doing it out of the kindness of her own heart, or because she was preparing me because she was going to leave. One day, I mean, I was young. I didn't really keep track of days, you know. I lived in Brooklyn. Came home on the bus one day, and she wasn't home. I didn't think anything of it because my mom worked at Kmart at the time. And I came home. I made myself something to eat as usual because I didn't have anyone to do it for me. Do it myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with making your own food at a certain age. But to take care of yourself at an age is crazy. So whatever. She didn't come home for a month. Now I was used to her not coming home for like a night or two or a day or two. But she didn't come home for like weeks, and then it started to become months. And she'd come home periodically off and on. Like I would notice that like stuff would be moved, you know, and me and her were the only ones that had the keys to the house. So I figured that was her. And it was her. Slowly but surely some of her clothes became missing and whatever. And then she started missing my birthdays. So then it became 13. So from 11, 12, 13, on and off, she would just leave, come home, leave. Christmases, she wasn't really around for holidays. And she pushed my dad so far out of my life. Like, I thought that he was such an evil man, you know? And he did. He changed. Over time, he changed. I'm sorry. But, my father was very old-fashioned. He was set in his ways. But, But my mom made him out to be a monster. And of course, me not knowing him very well, I believed her. Because she was the only one that I knew. I didn't know him, you know? Not to say that he wasn't in my life. You know, he was in my life up until I was like 7 years old. Like 6 going on 7, he was in my life. So let's get back to 13. 13 years old, living in New York City. And she was on the PTA at that point, so she came back into my life for a little while until I graduated from elementary school. Now, junior high school. I graduated from junior high school, excuse me. After I graduated from junior high school, everything went downhill again. She left when I started high school. She'd like leave for months on end. Months. So it went back to the way it was. Until I was about in 10th grade. I'm going to say 10th grade. So it was like it was like going into my second year of high school. She decided not to come home one day. And, I came home and I was sitting there watching TV. I remember I was sitting there watching TV and the electric went off. And I was like, what? It's like, whoa. And I didn't know anything about paying bills. My mom took care of everything. We were on Jiggets at the time, which is income that the state pays for our rent. So that was going to last until I was 18 years old. I knew that. So I started getting the mail every day, checking the mail, and I got a job because someone's got to pay the bills, right? So eventually I ended up dropping out of high school because it was like either work and pay rent, well, not pay rent, but work and keep the utilities on, the gas, electricity, and food on the table because nobody was putting food on the table but me. Yeah, or go to school. So I chose not to go into foster care because I was going to be 18 soon. I was going to be 18 in 2.5 years. I was going to be 18. 2 or 3.5 years I was going to be 18. So I went to and from work every day instead of going to and from school every day because I was 15 going on 16. No, I was 16. Sorry, I didn't break it down for a timeline for you guys. It's been a really long time. Yeah, so that was my life. I got a job at Dunkin' Donuts, and then they screwed me over, so I got a job at McDonald's. And it was only part-time, so I would pay the electricity little by little. I would not put the electricity on unless I absolutely needed it. I think I only used electricity for the TV. To be honest with you, I didn't have any of the lights on. I had candles. 99-cent store. You go and I buy candles at 99-cent store. I mean, oh my God, I'm gonna put myself such in a hole right now. But I mean, there's the 5-finger discount. You know. I hope no police officers are watching this. But yeah, I was on my own. And then right before my 18th birthday, I see my mom's friend on Kings Highway. And she goes, "Oh, it's fancy meeting you here." And I think that she knew my schedule. I think she knew when I would be walking home from work. Because I worked at the McDonald's right on Kings Highway. And she brought me to the diner on Ocean Parkway. "15, 16, 17, almost 18. So almost 4 years went by. And I didn't see my mom. So they all thought that I was crazy when I walked into that diner. Sorry. They all thought I was crazy when I walked into that diner and I saw my mom and my legs gave out. But it's like, I was a kid, you know? I was a baby. I look at fucking kids out here now, 18, 19 years old. They're smarter, okay? They're not street smart, but they're smart. They're intelligent smart. But it's like, I didn't have a clue. I was like, and my legs just gave out, you know? And everyone, my mom's friend and my mom looked at me like, oh, cut it out. Why are you acting like that? And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So whatever. My main question was, why did you leave and when are you coming home? Can you believe that? True. Isn't that funny? When are you coming home? I think about it now and I'm like, wow, oblivious was I. You know, I was a kid. I was a stupid kid. Fast forward to adulthood, you know, like, what's adulthood? I don't know how she got my phone number. I wasn't listed. I must have been 20 years old. And she contacts me. And I was astonished. And I really was so upset. I didn't want anything to do with her, you know. I was like super mad at her. And I was living with my roommate at the time. And I was bad. I was smoking weed. I was being a kid because I didn't have the time from when I was a kid to be a kid. I couldn't be a kid because I had to be an adult because there was no adult there. For a short time between the time I was 18 to the time I was 19, no, from the time I was 19 to the time I was 20, when I dropped out of high school and I signed myself out of school, my dad tried to come into my life. And he tried to order me around and boss me around and give me orders. And I'm like, I went from not having a parent and like never having a parent to you trying to give me a curfew at 18 years old. I didn't have a curfew. And I was just like, I gotta go to work. And he was like, no, you have to be home at this time. And I'm like, no, I'm a key holder. I am almost an assistant manager. I need to go to work. I need to be there. You can't give me a curfew. Like, are you out of your mind? So that's how me and my father's relationship started, which is cuckoo. But me and my father have a good relationship now. True. Let's go even further. So I meet Christian, my fiance, my future husband, love of my life, my future baby daddy. I meet him. I fall in love with him. I'm living in Long Island at the time. She doesn't contact me. I get pregnant. The first time, my first miscarriage. Well, I only had one miscarriage, and then this lovely little girl over here. She contacts me while I'm pregnant. And she basically didn't say, she was just, I don't know, it's like she thought she was talking to the person that she left when they were 16 years old, you know? Like she thought she was talking to the child that she had. I'm obviously not a child anymore. I'm 25 years old when I had my miscarriage. So that happened. But then she called me back again, which was surprising because I guess she wanted to be in my life again. And I had a miscarriage. And I tried to... God only knows why. I tried to tell my mom, my mother, the person I came out of, that I had a miscarriage. And she basically didn't tell me that she was sorry. Most people say sorry when you have a miscarriage. But she didn't say sorry. She goes... She blamed it on me. And she's like, well, that's because you probably can't have babies. Oh my God, just stuff I didn't want to hear. Oh my God, I couldn't even. So I hung up on her. And for the life of me, I don't know. Let's jump even further. Let's jump to now, right now. I called her last weekend. The weekend before not last weekend. The weekend before the 4th of July. My calendar, my whole. I'm in my living room right now. I'm not in the nursery anymore. So I don't have my calendar. But I made the mistake of calling her because I wanted to. I know her number. I know where she lives. There's internet now. I have her first, last name, and her social. I got wise. I got smart from when I was 16. So I called her. Apparently she had a stroke, and maybe karma. Karma's a bitch. Karma's a bitch. She was still sour, I guess, in her old age. She's gotten very sour still. If she was sour before, she's even sour now. So I called her. I wanted to know why she didn't breastfeed me, and I wanted to just ask her mom questions. You know, like I'm still so stupid, right? And then I was like, she wanted to have a relationship with me. She wants to see her grandbaby. That ain't happening. That ain't happening in a billion quadrillion years. That ain't happening. And it's not just for me to be sour. It's because her grandmother is going to be my fiance's mother. That's it. Me and her may have our issues, but that's it. She will never, ever do what my mom did to me. Never. She will be an amazing grandma. I mean, she's maybe a little crazy grandma, but I'm okay with that. But she won't be like my mother. You understand? So whatever. And then she was supposed to call me last weekend because we were supposed to be starting our relationship. I didn't count my freaking chickens, okay? I didn't count them. They didn't hatch. I'm okay with that. But that's what made me make this video. Not made me, but like, not inspired me, but I wanted to tell you guys that I will never, ever, and one day, you know what, Elizabeth, if you're watching this one day, I want you to know that I love you, and I will never do what my mother did to me, to you. Never. Because it hurts. And I am not going to be your best friend sometimes. But I'm going to love you, and I'm going to point you in the right direction. Because I'm your mom, and that's what moms do. So I don't know if I'll be a good mom. In fact, terrifies me just a little bit because I think I'm going to be so strict. But I'm going to love her. Oh, I'm going to be strict. I'm not going to let her go out and party because I didn't have anyone to tell me not to party. You know, I didn't have someone to tell me you shouldn't be in the park at a certain time when I was like 16, 17 and there was a whole bunch of older boys over there. I didn't have someone to tell me, get your ass home, you know? I had to tell myself, get your ass home because you had to go to work the next day. Well, I had to go to work the next day. But I'm happy that you guys are taking this journey with me, and I'm happy that I could share stuff on YouTube. And I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to tell you that there are people out there that shouldn't become parents. There just aren't. I'm going to teach my daughter all the things that my mom didn't teach me. You know, like my mom didn't teach me how to cook. I learned how to cook on my own. From trial and error. And you know what? I'm going to teach my daughter how to bake. I'm going to teach her how to make my homemade, awesome cheesecake with, like, my secret filling in it, you know? Like, I'm going to teach her all that stuff. I'm going to teach her everything that my mom didn't teach me. I'm going to teach her how to be safe. And I'm going to love her. Thank you for listening to my rant. I will give you guys an update in 2 days. Have a great day and be a good mom.